Hey,
Hello, hello.
Hey,
well, welcome to Put It All on the Table. I'm Roberta, the tool lady.
Jackie, the wellness advocate.
and I'm Nisha, the social advocate.
Yay. And we just want to say thank you and welcome. Thank you for joining us. Tonight, if you have you want to correspond with us, you can always message us. Our email is listed. And also follow us on Facebook. And we're also on Instagram, not Instagram. Yeah, I'm on Instagram. But you can also catch up with us on other outlets. We're just happy that you're here to join us tonight. So
Yes.
welcome, family.
Welcome.
So Roberta, recap us. What we talked about last week?
Oh, you had to ask me. Wait a minute.
Oh yeah.
Well, we've been in mental health week. I mean month. So it's mental health awareness month. So we've been talking about mental health awareness, how it affects minorities, how it affects us. Last week, I just briefly talked about how some of the things we got in our environment socially also affect our mental health, i.e., the music, i.e., hey, welcome, i.e., the internet, just different things like that we have that are popular, but they're trending and they affect us. And even if we don't know how they affect us, right? So basically, that's where we're at, Jackie. Uh, and I don't know if you guys want to add something to it because I might have missed something. Just something. It's been a week, right?
Well, yeah,
Oh
just
no,
to
I
be
think you did
aware.
good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that was
Yeah,
pretty much it.
yeah, that was pretty much it. Be aware of what you're listening to, really around your kids, right? Because us as adults, we know what we're listening to. We can process it, right? We can understand that what is being said in music, that it shouldn't be taken, seriously or what have you. It's just music to chill out to dance to vibe to, and that's what it's for. But for kids, we got to be careful because that's how they'll talk or they'll say different things, and so you just got to be mindful. So yeah, but so today we're going to be talking about self-care. I think we've touched on it before. We're going to talk about it some more, and we're going to talk about create boundaries within with your self-care, because it's not, first and foremost, it's not selfish to take care of yourself. It's not it is okay to set time apart for yourself, to take care of yourself, take care of your well-being, because it coincides with your mental health, because mental health is emotional, psychological, and social. It's all, it's all combined, it's all together, it's all aligned. So you have to ensure that you take care of yourself, do things that you enjoy. um that's what it's about. It's so that it can help you live well, and it can help you improve both your physical and again your mental health. So with self-care, it's let's see, so it can help you manage stress, lower your risk of illnesses. It's been linked to that as well. And just a few tips to help you get started with self-care. I think we could bounce off of each other, what different things that we do, or what we should be doing and aren't doing, and need to kind of address it. I think the one thing that is surround self-care is sleep, right? Getting the right amount of sleep. um I know there's a lot of people that can say, oh, I can function on 4 to 5 hours of sleep and I'll be all right. Well, after you do it for so much, that can affect you, right? So that's one thing. Make sure that you're prioritizing your sleep and getting your well rest. What else, Roberta? What other tip?
Along with sleep, I think having a balance of the day,
Mm-hmm.
balancing out what you're doing. Not, some people say, well, all I do is work, 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 work. That's not a good balance.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I do? I exercise. I go to the gym all day. That's not a balance. Putting a balance in with those things, with your mind, body, and soul in mind, balancing those out. If it's resting, if it's prayer, meditation, um, and then sleep, but making a routine of it. I know when I don't have a routine, I'm off. My balance is off. I'm either too tired or I'm doing too much, meaning my mind is just everywhere. So I may have so much to do and thinking I'm getting so much done, but I may never get anything done because I'm just so everywhere. So having a balance is so important in your life, is just to have a balance of what you have going on and every day, and to prioritize it. And I think, like you said, it's not selfish to say, no, I need my rest. No, today is not a good day for that because this is what I have to do. I need to do this, this, and this. Someone say at work, well, can you add this on to it? No, today's not the day for that because I got this planned. Then I'm gonna do this, and then because that's part of my self care regimen. And then I'm going to bed at a certain time. So I think that's the balance. What about you, Nisha?
I think you guys are making some really good points. A big one for me, and one of the main ones that I teach my clients is sleep. Sleep hygiene is so important. Sleep and lack of really can affect um, your functionality on a regular basis. And there's so many ways to get sleep when you're struggling. Like one thing is like getting in tune with like the sun's circadian. So that's like the sun's rhythm of rising and going down. Even just going outside, getting some vitamin D to stay on a sun circadian is good. Making sure that the room is dark only when you're going to sleep. Turn the air down low, make it cold only when you're going to sleep. Um, Going to sleep at the same time every day and waking up at the same time every day. That way your body is in tune. Hey, it's time to unwind. It's time to go to bed. I'm asleep. Wake up at this time. Sleep. I'm just a huge advocate for sleep. If y'all, I just woke up not too long ago. When it's time to take a nap, I'm gonna take a nap. Like I'm going to go to bed. Um,
Which they actually said is good to take a nap. It's good
yeah,
to take 15 to 30 minutes nap.
yes. My problem is though, my naps don't be 15, 30 minutes. My naps
Mine
be an
don't.
hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, you know.
Is
And
it
it's
because you're
so
not getting sleep at night?
yes, I stay up at night.
Mhm.
And it's important to
Okay.
take a nap halfway through the time you wake up and the time you go to bed. So usually like around noon to two midday.
Mhm.
So sleep is so important. Another thing for me is eating a well balanced diet,
Yes.
especially if you're somebody that struggles with like different mental health symptoms or you have different diagnoses. Say you have depression, it's important to eat foods that fight depression and give you energy, like greens, fruits, and vegetables, those types of things. So all those things in combination are very important, very vital to having good self care. I also have this thing where once a month, especially in the field that we work in, I take a mental health day. Usually, I like to do Wednesday because it's midweek, just to kind of stop all the noise and just reset. And so, like during that day, I'm a big, and I know I talked about it weeks ago about how self care isn't just pampering yourself, but I'm a big pamper. I'll go get my nails done. I'll get my hair done. I'll get my feet done. I'll go shopping. I'll go get a massage, and my phone will be on D&D all day long. And I will let everybody know, hey, this Wednesday, don't call me, don't text me. I'm not answering. This is my self care day. If it's an emergency, yes. Other than that, I don't want to hear nothing that nobody got to say. Don't bring no kids over here. I don't want no company. Don't ask me to watch no TV show. I ain't doing nothing. It's my day, and that really helps. So self care is just it's so important. So important.
Mhm. Mm,
All right.
And yeah.
Come on, Roberta. I see no one. Go ahead, drink up.
Today I have my water. Today I have water. Sorry, y'all.
You're
I
healthy.
have a thirst. What else? Also, let's see. Practicing gratitude. Remind yourself daily of things that you are grateful for, and be specific. You can even write them down. Um, that way, if an ever negativity, comes into mind, especially when you're like perhaps like in a depressive, mood, being thinking about those things that you're grateful for, being thankful for what you have, not thinking about what you don't have, kind of being intentional and present in the moment. Uh, that is really important for self-care. Um, and also staying connected, right? Reach out to your friends, to family, who can provide emotional support and even help if necessary. And we have to keep in mind that self-care, it looks different for everyone, right? It doesn't look the same for everyone. My self-care probably different from Roberta's, from Nisha's. So we just, you got to do what is best for you and what you need and what you enjoy. um so for me, I try to incorporate like self-care when I try to incorporate it with my kids. If they say, if you're starting to trying to eat better, make sure your kids are eating better as well. So I try to incorporate that with my kids. Try to set the example. At first, they may not want to eat, they may nibble at it, but they're hungry, so they're gonna come back and they're gonna finish that food, and they're gonna get to the routine. Okay, we this is good. This is better for me, and kind of talk them through that as well. Because eating healthy, man, I tell you, especially in this economy, is very hard. And this
Oh,
economy that we're
yes.
in right now, because it's a lot cheaper to be like, what, we're just gonna get takeout versus going to the grocery store and buying everything that you need. Like my husband literally just went to the grocery store on Saturday or Friday and Saturday, because we needed a little bit more stuff that he forgot. And I'm looking at my fridge today and I'm like, it looks like we didn't go grocery shopping. We're gonna have to go again. And mind you, with the kids here at home, right? It's just I'm ready for them to go back to school because all they do is eat. So it's just hard to stay, trying to eat healthy, but it really does make a difference. Like Nisha said, it really a balanced diet, plenty of water. That's why I'm drinking water, because I'm trying to get off of the soda because I'd been on a soda binge. So, and sodas are very addicting, right? Caffeine is like a legal drug. It really is. It's really hard to get off of those soft drinks, and I love me my Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
So it's just, it's trial and error, and be kind to yourself when you're trying to start this, practicing and incorporating self-care routines. And again, focusing on the positive. I don't think I can say that enough, because you have to be grateful for what you have and have a
So,
positive mindset.
right. Yeah. I might as well say one more too. Well, I agree with that. I always say, which is said before, it's HALT, right? HALT is acronym. So whenever you're too hungry, you're too angry, you're too lonely, or you're too tired, slow yourself down. That
That's good.
means you need to do some self care. That means you need to take care of self, because it can become reckless, right? Like I said, we have the internet, we have dating sites, we have all of these things. But if you lonely and you looking for lonely, what you gonna end up getting?
Lonely.
This is something to think about, right? So be aware, when you're feeling these emotions. We just live in a world where we just fly by and we don't want to feel emotions. But the thing is that we are emotional people, and we do have to reset. and we have to reset each day. So just be aware of that when you're hungry, angry, lonely, tired. Slow down and just see what your body needs.
I'm glad you said that, Roberta, because I was gonna say it's so important. It's so important to pay attention to your body. And that's a piece of what Jackie was just saying is listening to yourself. You too, Roberta, like knowing what's going on and knowing that your self care is unique to you. Nobody else self care is going to look like yours because your body is unique. And slowing down when you're feeling anxious, slow down. Like when I'm feeling anxious, I'm like, okay, pause before you start tripping and getting mad and crying and freaking out. What are you really feeling right now? Why are you anxious? What are your stressors? What is
Mhm.
triggering you? And when you're feeling this way, what is a coping skill that you use? Could you do some problem focused coping right now? Like there's an issue, address the issue, and I'll feel better. So paying attention to your body and what your body needs, especially like Roberta was saying in today's society where everything is just so fast. We're always on the go. We're either always at work, or we're tending to the kids, or we're tending to family members, or doing this and doing that. Especially with groceries being so high. I saw a family pack of chicken wings for $20 at Kroger a couple weeks ago. I was in disbelief. So how are people surviving off of this? And I don't even have children. And I literally spent like I literally spent maybe $300 at the grocery store 1 week for me. And I
Right,
had like 10 bags. It wasn't much at all. So it's
right.
just crazy dealing with, the stresses of life and how things are constantly changing and life is getting more expensive and life don't always life. It don't care what we got going on. It's not gonna
Yeah.
slow down, it's not gonna stop. So taking care of yourself, whatever that looks like for you, is very, very, very important. And never feel guilty for taking care of yourself, right? That's always good. Like I know as women, we kind of have this thing society teaches us where we're supposed to take care of everyone else before ourselves, especially being women who are minorities, right? It's even
Mhm.
worse in that area. And it's just like, you know what? How am I gonna take care of everybody else if I can't even take care of myself?
That's right.
You can't give if you don't have if you can't pour into other people if you're not pouring into yourself first.
Mhm.
You gotta have something to give. So growing up and hearing that, and my mom also practiced that. I don't know if she's listening, but I'm saying this with love, lady. Love you dearly. But she was one like I gotta take everything that's supposed to go to my kids. I don't keep anything for myself because when you have kids, nothing is about you anymore, which in a sense is true. But in order to take care of your kids, you gotta take care of yourself.
Mhm.
Or your
That's
kids are gonna feel that. If you're not healthy, they're gonna feel that.
that's stressful. That's right.
Yes. Yes. So
That's right.
that's my piece. And giving gratitude that's something that I've been working on for maybe the past 2-3 years. Is not being so critical of myself and giving myself grace and showing gratitude and changing my mindset, right? And that's another thing I do with my clients too. Like every time we meet, I always ask them, tell me a win. Tell me something positive that's happened to you. Because usually it's always bad. Well, this happened and that happened and this and I'm going through this. What's a win? What's something
Right.
that's happened? And even when they're like, "Oh, I don't know, I don't have a win," I'm like, "You do something positive has happened.
Happening
This is
good.
all part of changing our mindset. So even if it's because you woke up this morning, you ate your favorite snack yesterday, you talked to a friend, you went on a walk. It could be so small. You found a shirt that you wanted to wear that you ain't worn in so long.
Right.
Just switching our mindset because there's typically more good happening to us than bad. The bad just hurts. So that's what
That's right.
that's what we pay attention to.
And lingers on, right? It lingers on. You're right.
Yes, it
You're
does.
right. That's right. It's cool. Real cool.
Come on, catch up, Roberta.
One mother. No, this is a different thing, ain't it? uh, but Jackie said a gratitude list. Sometimes I say do a worry list. If that's what's keeping you up all night, do your worry journal. Write it down so you can get it out. Um, And it doesn't mean that someone got to look at it, but you give the chance to get it out of there, get it out of your mind. Another thing is like, people have past regards or resentments, like,
Yeah.
I should have did this, I should have did that, this didn't go like this. Maybe it's a relationship, maybe it's a death, maybe it's grief, right? That gratitude, or this a oh, what's the word for it? It's another type of letter you can write to them, and it's not anything saying like, oh, I missed this and this. It's just saying, it's basically gratitude. I'm thankful you were in my life because you did this and this and this. So it also changes, like Nisha said, it changes the focus from you're gone to, hey, I know this is what you did in my life, I appreciate it. So even on relationships that are strained, even like I said, death, grief, just being able to get that out, to journaling is so important.
Mm-hmm. It really
uh,
is.
and yeah, it's really important. And then to piggyback on what Nisha said about the bedtime, uh, just something as simple as taking a bath in your favorite perfumes, or your favorite body oils, or gels, or lotions. It doesn't have to cost a whole lot. We got dollar stores everywhere. You can get your favorite scent. If it's watermelon and cucumber, take a bath in that, and
Cause
take
I'm a
time to
bubble
smell.
bath queen. I love to take me a good bubble bath. Let me tell you.
Right. Just take time and just smell the smells of it, and really relax in it. Practice mindfulness, just that moment. This is what this moment is to me. And that also helps us without going too far into tomorrow or later on, and not
Mhm.
backing up the train into hours before, when we're thinking, oh, I should have said this. It helps us take that away, and pauses us and resets us for the next day.
I even have dried lavender, and dried eucalyptus hanging up in my shower, so that I can do the like aromatherapy every time I take a shower. And I literally get in there and I take a big old deep breath of it. And I said, okay, when I let this go, I'm gonna let go of the day, and I let that breath out, and I let go of the day, and I literally can feel my whole body just relaxing.
That's
And I just
awesome.
stand there and I focus on the water hitting my body. I focus on how warm it is. I focus on body parts that is hitting. I'm focused on releasing stress, and
Yes.
it is amazing. Something that doing that is self care on a
Yeah.
daily is so important.
Right. Right.
So
Right.
important.
It is.
Mhm.
So that's awesome.
Someone said I do the melatonin bubble bath.
I
Oh, I
seen
didn't know
that.
you could
Right?
do
But
that.
I'm
Hold
like,
on. Where
what?
did you get from?
Where'd you get that at?
I did not know you could do a melatonin bubble bath.
It's supposed to be something like a detox. I'm into herbal stuff too, a little bit. Now I ain't went and got the stuff and hung it in my bathroom, but I do like the scents, and that is supposed to be something like a detox now.
Hmm.
The melatonin baths and stuff like that. It's
Huh.
supposed to be some detoxing type of stuff for you. But I could see how it'd be relieving, right? Yeah, that sounds relieving. I just take one little, what's your name, and it puts me to sleep. So I can imagine a whole bath of it. That just,
Yeah,
Yep.
I
but
need
that
that.
lavender also, and aloe
Yes,
vera.
people. Oh, that's good. Yes, people laughed about the Carly story, but I honestly think she was running away from stress. Listen, I don't blame her. Say what you want.
So are y'all ready to put some
So,
things
so
on the
what?
table?
Let's
So
put it
what
on the table.
happened? Because I know that there was a missing alert for her, right? It was all
Yeah.
over social media, and
Right.
then all of a sudden, I guess I just didn't keep up. I saw that they're like, Carly, why you do that? That's why they don't be believing us. And I was like,
Yeah, that's what I saw.
what happened? I'm like, what happened?
Apparently, she faked getting kidnapped. Like she said,
Mm,
there was like a baby on the side of the road, is what I saw. A white baby. She got out to help the baby, and that was the last time that she was seen. But then once people start talking about it and things start unfolding, they were saying how There was like surveillance cameras from neighbors showing like her walking through the neighborhood. There's like traces of her talking to her friends and all these different things where she obviously it was proven that she faked it, which is very disheartening. And I hate the fact that she felt like that is the extreme that she had to go. But when people are stressed and under so much stress, people will do anything to get some type of relief.
Mm-hmm.
They really will. Even if it's down to, and I hate to talk about it, but suicide. So important to talk about. Even some people just feel like that's the only chance, the only hope that they have. Like there's nothing else that I can do besides what makes sense. If it's running away, faking my death, suicide, just to make it stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's so disheartening that that was her experience. But I
Yeah.
just hate how social media just makes a joke or a mockery out of everybody, even pain.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Put
And
it in.
I mean, the interest that I have, I guess, is because I always like to think, what could you have been thinking? Like Jackie said, they already don't take us serious. They said that the first time they went out, they were like, it's not a missing person type situation anyway. They forced the hand, and so, and then it ended up, it was a mob. But, and you said she was stressed, but that's the only thing I always wonder, like, what were you really thinking to even, were you even figuring out? Because now, even if this was a mental health issue, I can see how it could be bigger. Because, like you said, people are making jokes out of it, and I can't see how she could get any relief from this.
mm-hmm.
Uh, or is this what she wanted?
They're already interviewing people to do a movie on her now. So,
Hey, bro, I know you lying.
uh-uh.
It was 2 days ago. Seemed like
Yeah, I wasn't. That was what, like last week that happened, like all last week, right?
Right, right,
Oh
right.
my
I don't know.
goodness.
I wonder. The baby
Yeah,
was.
like Roberta said, was it stress? Was that her outlet, the only thing she thought of to do to get away, or was it just seeking attention? Just maybe the wrong attention. Like, but again, that can go back with however overwhelmed she felt. Like, I need
Mm-hmm.
someone to see me, I'm gonna do this, and then now she'll feel like, oh, now you see me, now you see,
Mm-hmm.
I'm here, kind of
Yeah.
thing. So that it's,
I want
I,
her
I
to
really,
be.
I really do hope that someone interview, or that she does even a live to talk about what happened, um, but there is something more, there going on.
I think
Um,
so too.
and I think that's why it's important, especially if no one had ever seen, to think that she would do something like that, right? That's why it's important to check in on your strong friends, the people that look like they have it all together, the people that look like nothing's wrong on social media all the time, smiling, doing all these different videos. That's why it's very important to check in on them. You know,
She talked about it. What did she say? This is someone said in the comments. She talked about it.
she
She
And
admitted
then
today.
she
today.
said she admitted she lied.
What she said. Ooh, I wish I could pull it up and present it.
No,
Podcast the whole
come on, pull
interview
it
so we
up.
can watch it together.
I know.
Right. But
No.
you know what? I think that's true, Jackie. What to check on your strong friends. I like that. I really do. Because one of my, not resentments but regards, is people always are like, you're so strong. I don't like that.
I
Why?
don't either.
Because I got some weaknesses, you
I
know?
know, yeah, and I know one thing that I get told a lot, and it's nothing bad, but people are like, "How do you do it? How do you do it all? You're a mom, and you have your own business, and you work, and the fact of the matter is that all that stress gets to you at some point or another. And it got to me, when I started this new position, I was all full fledged, but then I started adding more stuff to my plate, being a content creator and also ensuring that I put social media stuff out for my business, trying to get my business aligned and things like that. And I was getting, some bookings here and there with my business, but I think everything just came all at once, and I was kind of just probably functioning on, I don't know, on adrenaline. That's all
Right.
I was functioning on, and then it just all came down
Crash.
hard on me.
Yeah.
And I've been taking it, well, I haven't done anything when it comes to my business since the summer started, and with like my content creating stuff I hadn't. And my dad, he finally asked, and he's like, why didn't, haven't seen you post anything. I'm like, Dad, it just became to be too much, and I just had to take a break. I'm like, I just had to take a break because it really does take a lot.
Okay. That's okay. Ain't nothing wrong with that. A lot of times when you have to come to points where we have to take a break and step back from our responsibilities, society tells us that, you're supposed to have emotion. You're supposed to always be growing, always be doing something. And that's not
Mhm.
necessarily true. It's okay to take a step back and pause for a minute. Your business
Yeah.
ain't gonna go nowhere. It's still gonna be there. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
you need to
Right.
post
Right.
again, you'll post again. But I do want to ask you, have you ever thought about hiring somebody? I heard someone talk about this on a different podcast. I think it was it's one of the pole dance girls that I listen to. I can't remember. Black Girl Fitness Files, I think is what it's called. She was talking about how it's important, or it can be important for you, especially if you have a lot on your plate, to like pay for release, like pay for luxury, like just pay, like use your money. Because people are always against, well, you don't have to pay anybody else to do it when you can do it yourself. No, if I could pay somebody to clean my house, I'll pay somebody to clean my house if that's less
Yeah.
that I have to do. But
Or yeah, I think the other thing would just allocate. Like,
yeah,
hey, you can do this, you can do, or be able to say no.
mm-hmm,
Just say no. It's okay to say no.
mm-hmm,
It's 100% okay to say no. It's 100% also when too much is too much. Like you have people who have so much stuff. I'm talking about physical stuff, and you can give some away. It's okay. It's
mm-hmm,
okay that you get rid of some of that. But some people really don't. They don't have that idea. It sounds simple, but it's okay. It's okay to say no, not today. It's okay to say, maybe 4 or 5 months from now I'll be able to. I don't know, but not today. It's okay. I think, and then allocate. I think Nisha, that's a way of saying it. Like, even if you don't have money, but just saying that's not my. You're gonna do it. Someone else is
mm-hmm,
gonna do it.
mm-hmm. Yeah, so she
Mhm.
was talking about how she hired like a social media person to post on her
Hmm.
page twice a week. I mean, twice a month.
Yeah.
And so she told me, she said on there where she found them. I can't remember. I need to go back and listen so that I can tell you. But she found them on some website, and it literally, she paid them maybe $30 to make two posts
Yeah.
a
Mhm.
month for her, and that was two less posts that she had to worry about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More time that she had to focus on her, more time that she had to focus on other parts of her business. So, I mean, I don't know if that's something that you're interested in, or our listeners are interested in, that are, entrepreneurs or business owners. But it's not as expensive as a lot of people think to hire people for your business to do certain things, even if it is just post 2, 3 times a month, or three times a week, whatever you can afford or you feel like is, fitting for you.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I want to throw that out there.
All
Yeah, I
right.
know we talk about hiring someone. I know that one thing I've always talked to my husband about is like, can we hire someone to clean the house? Because if there is one
Oh,
thing that I hate to do, and it really does take a lot out of you, like for me, I think too, because I'm very I pay attention to every detail when I'm
yeah.
cleaning. So if I'm cleaning somewhere, like for instance, like my office space, if I need to organize it and I just haven't, because I know that it's going to take a lot to have to clean it up. But I'm like, it just takes too long to clean one place for me. And he's like, why does it take you so long? I'm like, because I'm paying attention to everything. I'm taking my time and I'm paying attention to everything. And he's like, no, we don't need to hire anyone. I'm like, yes, we do. I was like, if I could have someone come in here and twice a week just to do deep cleaning, I think that would be really, really good. And I told her, I was like, if I was rich enough, I'm like, I would have like of my own chef because I don't like to cook either. Like cooking is one thing that it just I used to like I did used to like I used to be like looking up recipes and trying new stuff. And my husband will tell you too that I cooked more when we were boyfriend and girlfriend than I cook now that we're married. And I don't know why. For me, it's just like a nuisance to cook. It just takes so long to prep and all of it. And so I always go for like the easy stuff, right?
Yeah. I have a friend that has her cleaning business, and I used to have her come clean my house all the time.
Yeah.
Even if I'm like, girl, I'm finna go on your site today, and I want to let you know, I'm gonna prepare you. I need my baseboards and my floors clean. That's all I need you to do. The
Now,
one thing I'm still doing is cleaning these baseboards and these floors every week.
now someone just said it's from the family tradition, but I think the other thing is that you got to think when we talk about traditions, life has changed for all of us, right? When I was raised or when I was growing up, my grandmother never worked. My grandfather did all the work. That's a whole total different picture from today's families. Most people, mom and dad, both work. If they don't work, they're gonna do without some things, some big things.
Yeah, because it's too expensive for one person to take care of a whole family by themselves.
Right. So when you talk about traditions, you got to put that in the equation that things are not traditionally the way they are anymore. So traditionally, you would have mom have time. She could go to the store. She could do house cleaning. She could iron her clothes. Excuse me, I'm country. Iron clothes. I know you already earned your clothes. She can iron all the clothes. So that's just what the world used to look like, but it doesn't look like that anymore. Moms are getting off of work. Moms are coming from boardrooms. Moms are coming out these graduate schools, out these colleges. Moms are coming even out of high schools, graduating. Moms is doing a whole lot now. So moms are just not the people putting the family to the structure together. So now both people gotta, I think, incorporate some type of balance. And it's a give and take. I think that's the whole thing when we talk about the values and the traditions and the morals and stuff like that. Or we gotta really we gotta challenge that because it ain't what we got anymore. Even for me, I'm a single woman, but my life is quick. Like, today, going to work, getting off of work, doing this, doing that. It's fast. And I'm only caring for myself, but this was a quick day for me.
Yeah, it's a lot just to take care. I can relate to that. It's a lot just to take care of yourself. So I'm just my thing to men, okay, who talk about tradition who typically talk about traditional women, they typically are not traditional men, right? So if you want to be traditional, we're gonna talk about being traditional, baby. We're gonna be traditional all the way across the board. You're gonna have to pay these bills. You're gonna do what my granddaddy did.
Right.
If you want me to do what my grandmama did, you take all my granddaddy did.
Right. And you go
Yeah, my husband and I, we have
a
that.
garden in the backyard with okra and squash, and I can do all of that. Is you gonna do what my granddaddy did? My granddaddy paid the bills, but he didn't physically pay them. Like he would literally work, come home with his check, give my grandma the whole check.
That's right.
And
that's the so you're right. So that's the traditional that we're talking about.
Ain't no half-assing it. We're gonna do it all. Go to work. Go ahead, go to work, give me that check.
Right. Oh, so, but they gonna okay. They gonna get mad when they gonna burn up when you get to talk. You gonna give me because men got allowance then out of their check.
Mhm.
so they wouldn't misuse it. But see, they forgot that. But they want all the other stuff. I'm just saying, you know.
Mhm. My husband and I, we had that conversation very early on once we started living together. I was still in college when I had my first born, and I know he would say like, he's like, "Are you gonna cook for me? Are you gonna pack lunch? Are you gonna do this or that?" I'm like, "I'm working. I'm in school, and I believe I was working part time as well." I was like, "And I'm pregnant." I'm like, "I am very tired." I'm like, "You already know what college is like." I'm like, if I'm like, I could help your mom. But see, I very early on, I could tell that my mother in law was like, this is my space. You know, this is my area. And I would
Territory.
try to help, and I could tell like she really didn't want me there because I guess she had her way of doing stuff. So then when we got our own apartment, um, I did try to make, cook every day, but then I was like, we have so much left over. I was like, I have I have, my toddler at that time. Anthony was a toddler, and then I was pregnant with the twins, still in school, doing my internship. I was like, I can't cook every day. I'm like, this is not realistic. So we had the conversation, we can eat leftovers. Like, I'm making so much, we're gonna, have leftovers. And once the kids got older, the twins got older, and they were all moving around, I was like, yeah, this isn't possible for me to be going to work, coming home, get them situated, feed them, and then cook and do everything. And I told him, I was like, you know what, this your idea of me cooking every day and having all these warm meals and everything, like, it's not ideal. It's not, if I want to get to bed on time, if I want to get the kids down on time too. I'm like, we're gonna have to share the load. You're gonna have to help me with something. So, and then, as I got more comfortable and set boundaries and actually saying no to stuff, I was like, you know what, I'm not cooking every day. I was like, no, I don't like cooking. And he was like, that's fine. So now he doesn't even say anything. Like, if he'll text me, hey, are you gonna cook today? I'm like, no. He's like, oh, okay, you're buying dinner, yes. Because I just don't feel like it's just something I don't enjoy, and then it just takes so much time. And the kids are like, I can hear them screaming and fighting and stuff, and I don't know.
It's
Every time I'm doing something, the kids start up with the fighting, and I'm
Mhm.
just like, I praise stay-at-home moms, or even moms that are actually able to, be full-time working and cook every day. Like, I praise them. I'll praise to them because I know I can't do it. Um, and my mom, she didn't do it either. So I would look up, I would tell him, like, I didn't grow up with it. I didn't grow up with my mom cooking every day. Yeah, she would cook, but she didn't cook every day. Um, but he did. My husband did. He grew up with his mom cooking and cleaning and doing everything for the household. Um, and then when I ended up having a conversation with my mother-in-law too, and now she was like, no, I hardly cook now. She's like, because nobody wants to eat my cooking. And I told her, well, if no one wants to eat your cooking, I'll eat it. You tell me, I'll go pick up some food.
You help out.
Yeah, but she created boundaries. She created boundaries with her husband. She was like, no, I'm not, I, how old is my mother-in-law? She's like 51, I believe, or 52. And now she knows, she has created boundaries. She has learned how to say no, and she goes out with her friends. She has dates when she goes out with her friends, and she's older. And mind you, I'd been talking to her about this for a while, right? Like, you need to make time for yourself. You're smallish. She's already in college. She's her own person. She's figuring out life. Like, you need to take time for yourself. I was like, I don't think I've ever really seen you like plan stuff with your friends and go
Mm.
out and stuff, do stuff for yourself. So the concept of self-care was new for her. And she's so quick though now to be like, no. And but there is a right and wrong way to do it too, to say no, to not be so rude. And I've told my husband that I was like, there's a right and wrong way. I was like, but it's fine. I just take it what as it is. But there is definitely it is definitely okay to say no and create those boundaries and have that communication, with others and letting them know where you're at and what your limits are.
Yeah, it's important to do that. Um, I've learned the hard way that it's important to do that very early on in your relationships, because the longer you
Mhm.
let people do what they want to do and not set those boundaries, the harder it is for them to want to for them to want to respect them, because they've been doing it for so long, they haven't had to. So creating boundaries very early in relationships will benefit you and the other person in y'all's relationship so much more, and it will help you foster a healthy, ongoing relationship with everyone.
Yeah.
So I love the fact that you said that, because growing up, I didn't really learn about boundaries, and I feel like kids in general really never really learned about boundaries, because it was always like, "Oh, you're a child. It does, it doesn't matter. They're kids. They just need to do what they're told." Yes, that's somewhat true, but there's still humans who have boundaries, and they should have boundaries. Like, I don't believe in like forcing kids to hug family members or
Mhm.
people doing things like that. If they don't want to hug, they don't want to hug. It's a boundary. Even something as small as
Yeah.
that. If they don't want to go somewhere, okay, we're not going to go there. Because it's just something you don't like to do. Now, if it's the grocery store, you don't really have a choice. Then I got to teach you a lesson. Like, this is just what we got to do. I don't want to go to the grocery store either, but we got to.
Yeah.
No, yeah, definitely. My kids, they're like, no, I don't want to hug. I'm like, okay, well, you can, shake their hands or just say hi. And my mother and father-in-law are the two, I think, that struggle to understand, like, if, it's okay that I don't want to give a hug to someone. Like, they haven't seen them in a while. They're not really recalling who they are. Um, or for whatever reason, kids know what kids know better. Kids know other people's intentions. Like, if you want to know if someone is a good person, have your
That's
kids
cute.
around them and see how they act around them, if they even acknowledge them or if they want to, hug them or what have you. I'm like, they don't want to hug them for a reason, and we're gonna let it be and don't force them. It's really hard, especially in the Hispanic culture. Like, when you go to a party, you say hi to everyone.
That's
And when
cool.
you leave, you say bye to everyone.
That's
And
true.
for me, sometimes my byes are like just at a distance versus my husband, he'll shake their hands. I'm like, I don't feel like shaking hands. Like, I'm ready to go. Like, I'm tired. It's late. The kids, we told them
Mhm.
we're leaving and they're ready to get out that door. Like, let's go. Like, it's just gonna be a bye from the distance, unless you're my mother-in-law or father-in-law or my brothers or sister-in-laws or my dad. You're gonna get a
Okay.
bye from a
Because I'm
distance.
good for walking out the door and saying, bye, y'all. See y'all later. Close the door. I'm not going to say bye to everybody individually.
Yeah,
And you
but
know what though, culturally it's across the board, and it may just be where we're at too in the South. It's considered rude,
Yes.
either
mhm,
either way, and that's even for our culture as well. When we enter the room, we're expected to greet everyone, and when we leave, we're expected to say goodbye to everyone. Uh,
Mhm.
but if one of you guys could tell our audience what boundaries are, because
Oh, that's good.
like Nisha said,
Let me look it up.
I just learned about boundaries probably what 20 years ago, or once I was grown, or I didn't know anything about, like, if I have a drink, you go drink my drink. I didn't know that was going against my boundary. I didn't know that was an
Mhm.
issue. Or I felt like I was upset maybe because you drank my Coke out of the refrigerator, but I didn't know that basically that was a boundary issue. I didn't understand that because I came from a family where a lot of us lived together, right? And so I didn't know you don't touch other people's stuff. It sounds crazy, but I really didn't know that. I didn't know you don't mess with people's. I thought it's here, it's everybody's, right? But out of it, I always felt really angry because I was the one with my stuff being messed with, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I always felt like, like sometimes I'd come home, my sibling would be in my clothes, or my sibling and her friends. And so it always made me feel really some kind of way. And I didn't really know identify it, but I did feel a certain way because I used to be like, okay, when I get grown, I'll never have this problem again.
Yeah.
They'll never touch my
Mm-hmm.
stuff again.
Mm-hmm. So
So
I
go
googled
ahead.
the Google definition. I googled it. It says personal boundaries are the limits and rules we set for ourselves within relationships. A person with healthy boundaries can say no, like we've been saying, to others when they want to, but they are also comfortable opening themselves up to intimacy and close relationships. Those are
Okay.
boundaries.
Mhm. Mhm. Okay. Okay.
Okay. Here's a little a diagram about. I mean, I don't know if y'all can see that. Oh, I feel like I'm a YouTuber. This is benefits of setting boundaries. So wards off burn off. That's good. Or burnout. Wards off burnout. Improved emotional health. Improved relationships. Clear expectations for others. Decreased stress. Improved self care capabilities. Respects
Right.
others and self respect, and promotes autonomy. I love this. I need to put this on my wall.
Right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Wow. I love that. That's good stuff. That's real
Yeah,
good.
that's good. That covers it, right? So
Right.
it really is about knowing your limits, knowing, that it's okay to say no, um, to family, especially because I think people are quick to say no to friends, right? But when it comes to family, especially, if in your culture, you it's always looked at like you have to say yes. You're forced to say yes, but you have to understand that it's okay to say no. So I think that's a big one. Um, yeah, just it's just creating boundaries. You think about boundaries is what are your limits?
Mhm.
What are your breaking points? What is something that you just do not accept and you're not going to accept it, and vocalizing those limits with your significant other, with your family members. I would even go as far as to like with your kids, right? Them knowing that you have boundaries, and when you say no, it means no, and it's no for a reason. Explaining to them why. With kids, you have to explain why. And if you don't explain it right away, they're gonna ask you why. So just know that that's coming, and that's okay.
Mhm.
And it's not looked as if they are being disobedient or talking back. Is they really want to understand why.
Mhm.
Why is it not okay for me to open the door when you're in the restroom? Because I know my kids, they for so long I wouldn't say anything, and now like I'm really trying to get it through their thick skull, especially my oldest. But again, he is autistic, so it's a little hard for him to understand. He's always been like right on my hip, right next to me. To this day, I have to lay down in the bed so he can go to sleep. Um, so I had, it's that's an example with the kid, right? Letting them know, like, it's not okay, to just barge into the door. Like, I'm using the restroom or I'm showering. This is time for me. Um, or someone of a family member calls you and says, "Hey, we're gonna have a get together. Come over and bring this." Dang, you already assumed I'm coming. What if I already have other plans? What if I'm tired? What if I just don't
Mhm.
want to come over?
Right. And,
So,
and that's right. I always tell you everything is not meant for me to be there.
Mhm.
Every situation is not meant for me to be there. It's healthy for me to say no. And it may just be like it may be my first, you kind of have a first mind, like, no, don't go. This might not be your weekend, or you don't we all have those thoughts. And so everything just isn't for you to attend. Um, but then and someone just said, my mom said, because I said so. That's
I heard
kind of
that
what Nisha,
all the time.
Yeah, and
I
that's what
do.
Nisha was saying that was so unfair because it didn't allow you the right to understand, like Jackie is saying, why that boundary is important. It actually it didn't even allow you to understand why or what if it is a boundary. What are you talking about? Because you said so. It's kind of that's kind of talking down. Well, it is talking down to a kid when you say I'm the boss, you're not.
Mhm.
Uh, that Matilda type stuff. I'm big, you small. You're gonna do what I tell you to do. That's leaving a child helpless or hopeless, and it's not really fair. That's kind of bullying. Um, One thing, oh, and it didn't slip my mind that fast. Uh, it did, because I was thinking. Um, Oh, back to the boundary deal. What you were saying about the self care, what you read, uh, the boundaries are so important with
Mhm.
self care because
Mhm.
what you do, you when you let people do things and you keep on letting them do it. Oh, that's what I was going to say. Boundaries are even important in your workplace,
Oh, absolutely.
right? You don't go and just tell a person, "Oh, this is what I did," and you just don't go and tell them everything about your life.
Mhm.
That's going against boundaries. That's
Mm-hmm.
going against your boundary and their boundary. And the same way when they just come up to you and lie and say, "Oh, Jackie, I really didn't take that off your desk," and you watch them see it, right? That's the intellectual boundary.
Mhm.
Or somebody say, Nisha, you so sexy with your sexy self.
Uh-uh. You better not. Gotta get back.
Yeah, that's a sexual boundary. So it's
Mm-hmm.
several boundaries can go all different ways, but not knowing that you have the power to actually put in a boundary
Mhm.
and say this is what I'm gonna accept and what I'm not gonna accept. That's
And
not
that's what I loved about that diagram that I looked at. The part where the one where it said creates autonomy. That is
right,
so big for me because I feel like growing up, once again, I didn't really get a chance to have that because I was a kid. I didn't even know what that was. So
right,
it goes basically same as you're saying, Roberta, is being able to decide what you take, what you deal with, and what you will and will not handle for yourself and your life. Self
right,
governing yourself. And I love that because again, that's part of self care. You got to be able to
right,
control what you can deal with and what you don't deal with.
right,
Like you said, if you keep letting people do stuff to you, that's gonna drive you crazy. Like people wearing your
right,
stuff, using your stuff all the time. I bet that took a toll on your mental health. You probably was just mad.
right,
Right. And I had to look up what is autonomy. And for anyone else out there, probably like, what is autonomy? So it is about a person's ability to act on his or her own values and interests.
Mm-hmm.
right, right.
That's so
Just
important.
be an individual, that unique individual we are, right?
Yeah.
But like Nisha said, some of us never got that. As even as children, we never got it. We had to develop it as we got older. Like, oh, I do got a voice. Oh, you can't just keep on messing with my stuff.
Mhm.
But we had to. I had to learn it. And so that's why it's really important to me. One last thing, I just want to add, y'all can help me out. We're gonna start taking we're taking emails. We're taking uh, hit us up on Facebook. We want to hear from you. If you're listening to us, we want to know where you're listening to us from. We want to know, what you're interested in. And if you want to be a guest on our podcast, we're going to start taking guests as well,
Mm-hmm.
coming up next month. So we just want you to join in with us. And grow with us. So that's all I wanted to add. If y'all want to add something different to it,
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think that was perfect. We're excited to
Yeah,
move
that was
forward and
great.
have guests and get more in tune with our listeners and more involved and engaged with you guys and talk about
yes,
whatever you want to talk about. Don't be afraid to come on here and say your piece. We ain't all gonna agree.
Mhm.
We already know that. It ain't gonna be no hard feelings. It ain't gonna be no arguing. We just gonna get on here and put it on the table. You hear me? That's
This
it.
is a safe
right,
space. This is a safe
right.
space.
Put it on the
Safe
table.
space. That's
Please
right.
don't talk, honey.
That's
Yes.
right. That's right.
Yes.
So
Well, this was great. So we'll see y'all not next Monday, but until August, because that's the So we won't see you next Monday, but we'll see you on the 7th. And from now till then, if you have any, like Roberta say, questions or suggestions or want us to talk on something specifically, hit us up.
Yes.
Thank y'all for listening. Cheers.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.